All right, guys, now moving right along, there's an amazing program put together by WildLife in Focus. We've talked about them and visited with them on the show before, but this is called Kritters for Kids. Without saying too much, I'll let Marissa say the rest, but it's a wonderful program put together for children to understand the wildlife that's here in the coastal bend, to become smarter and more educated on what to do if you encounter them, how to photograph them, and other ways to appreciate them in a fun, educational way. Let's learn more about Kritters for Kids and WildLife in Focus.
Today I'm here with Marissa Ford with WildLife in Focus to talk about an amazing program they have for children called Kritters for Kids. Thank you for joining us, Marissa.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me more about Kritters for Kids.
Well, Kritters for Kids is a program that we have in South Texas schools, K through 8th grade basically. It is a school that is aligned with our TEACS programs here in South Texas. It's online, and that online program goes to the schools when they're sponsored, and it gives them 3 years access to our program. Each program has its own curriculum and that the teachers can go ahead and go to. It has vocabulary words, it has games, it has assignments. It gives good instruction for the teachers, and the teachers don't have to do a whole bunch with it. Each school gets 30 of these books, which is our book 8, which was aligned with the Kritters for Kids program. So, in opposed to our new books that we have coming out. But the book 8 still has wonderful pictures in it, and you can also find those pictures on the website for the Kritters for Kids program, which goes with each curriculum.
Okay, an amazing excuse to get the kids more involved, get them to be a little more interactive with what is outdoors, because these are locally focused, correct?
Yes, they're locally focused. It gives kids an idea of what is outside in their backyard and their surrounding area. One of the new things that's coming up with Kritters for Kids is that we're going to start adding video footage to our Kritters for Kids site. So it's going to teach, hopefully the videos will have footage on what it's like to be on a ranch, what it's like to be a botanist, what it's like to be a nature scientist or an ecologist. So it can teach the kids different things about the surrounding areas, about the animals, and give them that nature science curriculum that they need, and be able to have videos that will help them interact a little bit better.
I love it. And speaking of which, you do have Kritters for Kids flashcards, which I think are an amazing opportunity to teach the kids and get them involved. Tell me about those.
Yes, we have our Kritters for Kids cards, which you and I have played with before in a previous segment, and I hope to bring them back on. But they are cards that have the pictures from this book in it, and then it has each animal, and on the back of the card it says what their niche is, what they eat, etc. And then there's games that explains like how you can play with those cards, where you can do the food pyramid basically, and each kid gets a different one and says, okay, who eats me and what eats this animal, and in the end, what is the last organism that's out there or the last species that's out there that is still standing.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool. There's other games to play, like a memory game, etc. But that's one of the ones of the favorites.
Very cool. Well, a perfectly great opportunity for kids to enhance their education experience and make it fun. That's the tough part these days, is making it fun for these kids who are so overly stimulated. So something like this is really great, especially to get them acquainted with our local wildlife, which is so important to be able to just walk out into the backyard and say, hey, Mommy, I saw that caterpillar we were talking about outside.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's so much fun for them. And we've had kids, when they get the books in their hand and they're actually in school, or when they're looking at the pictures online, they look at it, and we've had teachers and parents alike call us and say, hey, look, our kid came home and they saw this animal right outside our front door, and they might live in an apartment building, but they were able to see and identify it with something that they saw in the book and realize, wow, this is really right here in my own backyard.
I love it. Well, these books are available to everyone, and the Kritters for Kids are available to any educational system. Where can they go for more information on how to get these?
They can go to wildlifeinfocus.org, and they can also call me at my office and just look up WildLife in Focus in Corpus Christi, and I am there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marissa, for your time. Check out WildLife in Focus for more details and get those kids educated on what we really have out there.